So we're going to go ahead and get started today. Thanks for joining me. I've got a new person on today, a couple new people, but I call this Unfinished Friday because before I had my background, um, I'm in an unfinished part of my basement, and so that's where the name came was unfinished, and we're all unfinished. We're all learning. We're all growing and so it was kind of fitting. And so what I do is I wanted to hear some great things from great people, and so every Friday I bring in somebody who knows a lot more than me, and I get to learn from them along with all of you. And so today it's awesome to be able to introduce Amanda Temoshek. Amanda and I have worked together at a nonprofit, and I just have a ton of respect for Amanda and what she's doing, and she's implementing, or she's helping companies and organizations implement EOS, and she's going to explain a little bit about that. But it is awesome for an organization. So I am, without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Amanda.
Well, thank you, Aaron. I have followed these Friday morning meetings. Watched them as you've done them. I've never actually joined in person though, so I am excited to be here. And so, is this like, are you guys usually regular attendees, or does the group change every week, or what's the typical makeup of who's on the call?
There's a couple regulars. There's a few new folks, but we have a couple regulars on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, one other question, and if I can't, that's no problem. Am I able to share my screen at all?
Yes, I will make that happen.
Okay, excellent. Well, a little bit of background on me and on EOS, and I'm going to teach one of the EOS tools. My background has primarily been in fundraising in one area or another. My first job out of college was Children's Hospital Foundation. That was in the 90s. That was when Children's didn't have a hospital. We had 2 floors in Methodist, and I worked on the capital campaign to build the hospital. And then eventually got into political fundraising, which morphed into working on various aspects of political campaigns. And after 10 years of working on political campaigns in 2016, I retired from politics, and I'm very glad that I did. And but then wasn't sure what I was going to do, and had reached out to a couple of nonprofits that I had worked with years before I got into politics, one being Christian Heritage, which is where Aaron was working, and was doing some development and feasibility study, fundraising, consulting, grant writing with Christian Heritage. And they had brought in an EOS implementer. So EOS stands for Entrepreneurial Operating System. And it's based on the book Traction, if anybody's read Traction. But the author of Traction, he had worked in his family's business and had did a turnaround in the business, but then really started doing research on businesses that succeed and what tools can be put in place to help businesses succeed. And it works for nonprofits, entrepreneurial businesses, even works for churches as well. And he found, oh, yep, Joe's got a copy of the book there. As he started doing his research, I'm going to share my screen now. He found, does this come up? So I tried to share my screen. Did it work? No?
It's just dark.
Okay, let me try it again.
Says that you started sharing your screen, but there's nothing there.
Okay. Well, I'm going to stop share, and I won't share my screen. But basically what he found is at any given time, a leader of a nonprofit or business, they've got about 136 issues that they're dealing with at any given time. So he was able to take those issues and put them into 6 different categories. And the categories are vision. Does everyone in the organization or company have the same vision? Are you clear as to where you're going? Next was people. Do you have the right structure? And then do you have the right people in the right seats? One thing was that he found an issue is data. Are you tracking the right data to know that you're making an impact? Are you able to look back and see how you've done over the last month or 3 months or year and look at trends in your data? Are you talking to enough people? Are you doing the right things to make an impact? One of the other areas is issues. Are you, do the people on your team know how to share an issue? Do you have a process in place for resolving issues? Are people comfortable bringing up issues? Another one is process. Do you have all your processes documented? And are your processes being followed by everyone? And then the last one is traction. And traction, which is the title of this book, is how do you actually make everything work within an organization? How do you take that vision down to the ground and make it work? So he wrote this book, and he found these were the categories that all these issues fall into. But then what he did is he found what are some simple tools that organizations can implement to be more successful in each of these areas. And so the book Traction goes through all of these tools, from how to put together your strategic plan, which the EOS strategic plan is called your Vision Traction Organizer. It's a 2-page document. And part of the reason for that is he found that people would do these huge 200-page strategic plans and they would sit on a shelf, never get used. And so for each of those categories, there's at least 2 tools that you can use. All of the tools are available for free. Obviously, the book Traction, you've got to buy or download, and there's other books that he's written too, but all of the tools are available for free on EOS Worldwide's website. You can just go in, log in, download the tools. I'd recommend reading Traction first so you have an idea of what it's talking about, but then going in and using those tools. And where to start would be the Vision Traction Organizer. Again, that's your strategic plan, but it really is a way of getting everyone within your organization the same page as to where you're going. And then it's looking at where do you want to be in 10 years? Where do you want to be in 3 years? Based on where you want to be in 3 years, where do you need to be in 1 year? And then based on where you want to be in 1 year, what do you need to do this quarter? Everything in EOS gets down to a quarterly basis so that you're running in a 90-day world. And anybody, I don't know, questions? Does anybody have any questions so far? So again, all of the tools are available at EOS Worldwide. They're all free to download and use. Where I come into play is some organizations want an outside person to teach them the tools to come in and facilitate their meetings when they're doing especially when they're doing their vision building, filling out their VTO, doing some of that long-term planning. They want someone else to come in and facilitate, and then to provide accountability. So a lot of organizations implement on their own, but a lot of organizations want an outside person to hold them accountable, to coach them, to teach them the tools. So that is what I do. My company is called Excelling Group, and my business partner, Brenda Block, her background was originally working in different startups, but then she spent about 10 years working for the Hope Center in Omaha. So she's got nonprofit and for-profit background. But today I wanted to go through one of the tools in particular. And this tool is called Delegate and Elevate. And this tool is not only helpful for when you are in a business or nonprofit organization, But it's also helpful in your personal life. So I tried sharing a screen again. Did it work this time? Okay, good. So with Delegate and Elevate, the concept behind this is that it's very important to make sure that people are doing what their strengths are, that you're spending your time and energy in where you shine. And so the concept behind this tool is to spend a couple weeks, either in your current job or if you're between jobs, thinking through past jobs, what are things that you've done that you love doing and you're great at? And then what are things that you like doing and you're good at? What are things you're spending your time, especially in your current job, that you don't like and you're not good at? And that you don't like and that you're not good at. So a lot of people end up, when you actually spend a couple weeks writing down everything you do and then put it in these categories, a lot of times you'll find that you're spending a lot of your time on things that you don't like, but that you're good at, or that you don't like and you're not good at. And so part of the process, if I'm going through this process with a company, is to have everyone on the team write all these things down and then look for, are there things that you're doing in these bottom two quadrants that you don't like but you're good at, or you don't like and you're not good at, that you're spending your time on, that you can delegate to other people that might have those same things in their upper quadrants? And my other recommendation for people, if they're thinking about making a career change or they're between jobs, to think about past jobs and really to think about what they are the best at, what they love doing, what they're great at. And then as they start looking for new jobs, to look for jobs where most of their time is going to be spent in these top two quadrants, because that's where people are going to excel. And so this is just a simple tool. If you work for a company, especially if you're a leader in the company, I'd recommend everyone in the company fill this out and spend some time just comparing it and making sure people are spending the majority of their time in these top two quadrants. And especially for leaders, anything in these bottom two quadrants that you're spending your time on, work on delegating those. That should be a first priority, especially this last one, stuff you don't like, you're not good at, to be delegating those things down to other people. And if you're a 1 or 2 person shop, some of these might mean that you're going to outsource them. So for example, if you are a 2 person business and you're doing all the QuickBooks and you hate it and you don't really get numbers and you're not good at it, that should be one of the first things that you look at outsourcing and delegating to someone else. So again, this tool, you can download it for free off EOS Worldwide. And that's just kind of a quick overview of the tool and how you would use it in a business. But yeah, I recommend everyone read the book Traction if you haven't, and take a look at these tools and see what you might be able to use in your business. And then if there's things that you are interested in learning more in, let me know.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda.
Yes.
I will speak from experience with the whole EOS system, and we all love to have meetings, right? And usually there's a meeting about the meeting, and then there's a meeting, and then there's a meeting about the meeting afterwards. What I loved about the EOS meetings is that we all knew exactly what to expect going into it. It was very even down to the minute. Like we'd have this time for a certain thing, and at the end of that time we moved on. And then when we worked through issues, we knew that there would be some resolution to them. And then when we were done, we knew what we had to do for the rest of that week. So I highly recommend it. And if you're struggling with people, with systems, with processes, with just getting things done as a team in your business, you would be well served to talk to Amanda about that. So Any questions? We got just we're over time, but if someone has a burning question, go for it.
I'm kind of curious if you've ever heard of like the Knoll personal profile predictive analysis, because it has kind of the same thoughts as the delegate and elevate, where they go through a
Yeah.
whole bunch of stuff, then they come up with a kind of a trait, and it was
Yeah.
really eye-opening. So there's a lot of wisdom behind that. I think that's amazing.
And I'm not familiar with it, but
I was just curious because it was the first time I ever had experienced something like that, and I was like, wow, they actually figured me out. I've been working 55 years.
Marcia, you're muted.
I'm sorry, Michael, what's the name of that? Could you spell that personal profile?
It's Knoll, N-O-L-L, and it's a predictive analysis. I just went through it where
Okay.
they call you, and it's an hour of asking all kinds of questions, and
Okay, thank you.
it's kind of fun.
Amanda, this is awesome. This is perfect, exactly perfect of where I am right now. So
excellent.
thank you so much.
Good.
And
And
man, thank you. I just ordered the book because I didn't realize that I've been using a lot of this stuff, but by pure chance. So this is going to be a great roadmap. Thank you.
Good. Excellent.
well, that's gonna wrap us up for today. Amanda, thanks again for coming on and sharing. And connect with Amanda. She's awesome. And she's not just this EOS, but fundraising and I mean she's had a lot of experience with in a lot of different areas. So she's a great person to get to know. And then next week, Marcia Young will be sharing with us. So she the Diamond Cutter. She's going to do a little book review on the Diamond Cutter. So, all right. Well, you guys have a great rest of your Friday. Finish strong, and have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.